Hi everyone, welcome along to the BBQ Talks Show. My name's Ryan.
My name's Charlie.
Oh my god, I just had my phone going. I've got feedback coming through. Never mind, that'd be cool. My bad. So, very unprofessional. Never mind. What can I do? I never claimed to be I never claimed to be a professional. I'm not.
You can always edit it up afterward. You can edit whatever you want to.
That's very true. We can clean it up. It is a live show, so here we go. Coming up on tonight's show, we will be speaking to James Grubbs. He's here to tell us all about sausage, his Instagram, Facebook, plus a good bit of fun and chat. All sorts of cures. It's going to be a fantastic interview. We've been talking to him off air, and he's got a lot of information. And I think he's going to be a really good interview. I'm totally looking forward to it. First off, we need a full word about our show supporters. The Rusty Barbecue can bring you an exclusive 10% discount on all of their products. Meta provide a 15% worldwide discount on all of their products, and our newest supporter, Grubbarque, we've teamed up to bring you 10% off their quality birchwood charcoal. Head on over to the website and grab yourself some discount on some pretty cool stuff. Also, head over to your podcast platforms. If you're listening, give us a 5-star rating and review. Tell all your friends to head over and listen to the show. Be very, very useful. Also, give us a thumbs up on Facebook and YouTube, and share us around. Tell everybody. That'd be really great. We're trying to make the show grow a little bit more. We've got fantastic people all over the world listening, but we'd like some more. So please do head over and have a listen. So that's enough of that. This week our guest is James. He's here for a very interesting chat about sausages and curing. So we're going to call him up and welcome along to the show. So let's get him on.
Hey man, how's everybody doing? I appreciate y'all having me on, man.
Welcome along, mate.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Looking forward to it.
Oh, it's going to be great. First off, cheers, man. You got
cheers
your special beer in. So what you drinking tonight? You got your lager?
I got a little Harp lager, and I got a little side dish of a little local drink just to keep my focus, keep it real. So.
Well, you got to stay hydrated.
Cheers to y'all, man.
Cheers, man.
Here's my cheap beer. Cheers to you.
Cheers. All right, so let's get this show rocking then. So,
all right.
So where you from and how long you been cooking over fire and flames, James? Well, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm from Louisiana, Southwest Louisiana, but I spent some of my life in Central Florida because I had divorced parents. But anyway, I've been cooking over flame for at least 45 years. Because how this worked out is my dad had got married again, and so I had 3 stepbrothers, and there was 3 of us. So there were 6 kids in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with your parents. So me and my brother was my age. He was my stepbrother, Bruce. We built us a little camp up in the woods in the forest, probably 150, 200 yards away from the house. And we would just go hang out up there to get away from there. You know what I mean? Because hell, there's 6 kids and parents and chores and dogs and all this other stuff. But we would hang out in the camp, and we started grilling squirrels and stuff, just an open flame on a fire with oak wood and hickory wood and a grate, and squirrels started, and fish, whatever we catch in the lake, because we lived on the lake. So it was like basin with butter and vinegar and just eat them. You'd cook them right off and, eat them. And then, occasionally you could go into the dang freezer, which your parents run around, maybe peel for a little piece of chicken or something like that, maybe a little side shoulder of meat and throw it on the grill. But it really started with wild game, man. I mean, on the grill, squirrel and deer meat is how I started learning to grill. I was probably 15 years old. And
wow.
Yeah, you want to do it and you want to eat it, and we didn't want to hang out in the house. So that's how it all got started, man.
Well, way to start up. You think you're doing well showing your kids how to cook a couple of burgers. You're in the forest cooking squirrels, mate. That's amazing.
Well, I'm going to tell you straight up. Well, I grew up in the city, in the projects, in Louisiana. And my mom, bless her heart, love her death, made recipe. She wasn't a good cook. Okay. So living in the city, it was so much different than when I got shipped to the forest, man. Was living with my dad, and I had a stepbrother who grew up in the forest. I mean, that's where, like, all of a sudden I think, shit, man, I think I might be a country boy. I don't know. I really am a city boy because I just felt right there, man. And I've been living here for 25 years in the country now in North Georgia, and I absolutely love it. I don't mind visiting the city. I've been to a lot of cities around the world, but I love being in the country, man. You know, I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. And you cook what you got around.
That's right. Use the wood. They said, well, what kind of wood are you cooking with? Well, guess what? I got 3.5 acres. I got plenty of oak and hickory. I got red oak, white oak, hickory. So that's what wood I use because trees fall during storms and you got to clear them out and thin them down. So I don't buy firewood. I got a pile of wood stacked up here by my beast that I feed. And it's all just local wood. Just cut it, let it dry, and, you know, cook with it, man.
Yeah, that's super cool. So, you said you travelled. Just sort of like getting off it. You said you travelled around a bit. Whereabouts you been, and sort of like have you sort of picked up any different food influences from where?
Well, I've been. Well, fortunately, I've traveled all over the United States, from Idaho to Florida, Louisiana, Texas. I mean, I think I've probably visited about 30 of them. But I've been to Europe a number of times, man. I've been to Zurich. I've been to Paris. I've been to Moscow. I've been to Volgograd, Perm, Russia, up in Siberia. And I'm gonna tell you, man, that there's one of my most favorite kebabs I've ever had in my whole life. They call it shashlik. All right. It's like the Caucasus of the Russian, the Eastern European marinade. It's a pomegranate juice and this other stuff where they marinate these beef and just these kebabs with it. It's off the chain, man. And one of the best pizzas I've ever had in my life was in Volgograd, Russia. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was just a little dive from the hotel. It was a flat crust, thin crust, crispy, wood cooked. I mean, they cooked it on a fire. You could tell this pizza was cooked on a fire. And to this day, and I've eaten a lot of pizza joints around this country, that's the most favorite pizza I've ever had in my dang life. And even in Paris, man, when you're there, you know, I've seen the Eiffel Tower. Come on now. It's the same thing in the picture as it is in real life. You know, I mean, the Louvre is the same thing. But so when I'm in Paris, I'm on the corner having a beer, eating groceries. You know, I'm just sitting there trying to taste stuff. And, well, you know, that's what I want. Let's watch the world. Let's see what happens. You know, that's how I want to do it. You know, I'm not a touristy kind of guy. I just want to experience the culture, the food, you know.
Yeah.
And you live and learn from there, you know.
Yeah, I'm the same way, and it's funny. Like you mentioned barbecue in the U.S., and people are thinking, you know, American barbecue. But you go back, and look at the history of barbecue, and it goes like, you know, you're talking like Asian barbecue, you're talking like barbecue, like all over the world has existed for, you know, since fire was born, essentially.
That's how people cook. I mean, that's where every cooking started, was a fire and proteins. I mean, I'm sure some vegans had some, you know, squash or something on the side, but that's where barbecue started, you know. I mean, fire, smoke, you know, and that's the thing is, people might not realize, you know, you need to take into consideration your heat source on a barbecue pit, because if you were using a gas grill or a pellet grill or a Komodo or a kettle or a reverse flow, indirect, it don't matter.
Right.
The heat source needs to be part of your recipe. You need to think about that. That the heat source is going to change the flavor of that food. So that should be part of your recipe. I mean, not 1 cup of this, 2 cups of whatever it is. But remember, the heat source and how you cook it is going to change the flavor and the outcome of the food.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a great point. I mean, I like, for me, where there's heat, you can cook. But where there's heat, you're going to change how you cook and what you do, and you're going to change the flavor profile completely from you know, cooker to cooker, where you're cooking indoors, outdoors, you know, no matter what you're cooking on. Absolutely true. That's a very good point.
Yeah, well, you know, I truly believe, and say I put in some applications for different shows, you know, even the one I got on and blah, blah, blah. But I wholeheartedly believe, you know, that when you do this, that needs to be part of it. You need to think about it 100% more than anything, because it not only changes the flavor profile, but it's a technique deal. I mean, bottom line for me, if I'm cooking a pork butt, I don't care what kind of grill it's on. there's an internal temperature I'm trying to get to and a feel to the meat I'm trying to get. So whatever I have to do to get to that point with every heat source I have, that's whether it might be the oven or the crock pot. Then maybe that's all you got.
Right.
You know, and it may be a grill or it may be a reverse flow or charcoal, whatever. It don't matter. But you know, you want to get that pork butt tender and falling apart where you can pull it. It's got to hit a certain temperature. It's got to hit a certain feel. And when you learn to do that, you can cook on anything. On any, I think it doesn't matter what the heat source is. And I think that was one thing about the show, that everybody there knew how to cook. Period. To get to that point. Because, you know, we got questions about, well, who managed your fires while you were doing this or doing that? Ain't nobody managed shit. You did it yourself. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have like a fire tender over there on the side. I mean, you get there, you fire up your damn pits, and you didn't know which one you were going to use. So when they did tell you which one you were going to use, get up on it. Damn, that's all I can say. Let a rip tater chip, man, and do what you can do, you know. But if you can cook it in the oven or on the stove, you can cook it outside on a grill. Yeah, I believe it 100%, man.
Yeah, me too. So while we were on the subject of that, we might as well sort of touch on it. So, when you got on sort of like selected for that show, what was the process of sort of like getting selected for the?
I'm gonna tell you, man, it was arduous, man. Truly, there was a lot into it. There was a lot of hurry up and wait. I think the whole process took me about 4.5 months from start of a casting application to being picked on the show. And even during this time, that's what I tell people now, because there's casting for season 2 right now in the United States for this American BBQ Showdown. And people are reaching out. All I'm telling you, look, it'd be 100% in. Don't be no half-ass shit here, because it's the real deal. And they sent people to my house to taste my barbecue. They sent you money, told you they want you to cook this, make a video of you cooking it, then send it to the culinary director. I mean, it was a lot involved. And see, I put in applications before, and it's a long story about how you get once you get in a casting group kind of thing, you get kind of picked around, you know. And I had did a show before 5-6 years ago called American Grilled on the Travel Channel, but I was an alternate. But Miss Tina won that. Miss Tina, who won American BBQ Showdown, won that show. Yeah, so I knew her and some of the, those guys, and I've always been followers of barbecue and barbecue in this country. So you see certain teams, especially in Georgia, and you follow them, so you know of these people. But the whole process is, man, if it comes up on Facebook or a social media app and there's a casting call, it's a real deal. But if you're going to put in for it, be 100% on there, you know. So just be ready to do it. Do what they ask you to do, and they dig through your social media accounts. They, there's like testing and making. Yeah, they don't want no. I mean, Yeah.
How can you make? I suppose that you got to sort of like, as you say, they've probably got to check you all out. They don't want any sort of Tom, Dick, or Harry up there. That's an English term.
They do a psychological evaluation even.
Really? That much?
Yeah, you do it on Zoom with the damn psychiatrist and answering these questions over and over again, like the same question asked you 27 times, I guess. I don't know what the hell it is, but you just do it. And that's all I can just tell people, man. If you really want to do something like that and be a part of the show, and I can tell you, that's about the most fun you can have with your damn clothes on doing a show like that. It is awesome. Okay, it's a blast. But be prepared to be all in, because you can't go in half-assed. If you do that, you ain't going nowhere. It ain't going, you're wasting your time. And they know that, man. When they, and I'm not going to run on too long here, but see what happens is casting people pick up like 25 or 30 people out of 1,500 or however many they get. They make a package with these people, and they send that to Netflix and the producers. They whittle that down, and that's how you get that shot, man. See, I was, I told Ron, when the Thursday before we went filming, because it was like a hurricane wait, but the casting lady, she liked me. I knew she did. She believed in what I could do and stuff. And, well, Grubbs, look, you're an alternate. And the producer called me at my house, and he said, look, Grubbs, we're going to come pick you up in a car, bring you down here, give you $500 and $50 a day, and you do you and try to get on the show. There's 10 of y'all coming down, only 8's going to make it. And I went down there and did me. Hell, next thing I know, I'm on the damn show. I couldn't even believe it. You know, I'm gonna tell you, I had to wash my damn underwear on Tuesday because I ain't brought enough drawers with me to last the whole time I was there. You know, it's like I thought I was going home, man. I thought I was gonna make like $700 to go back home and sling some groceries. Shit. Next thing you know, you're there on the damn. I'm calling my old lady. You ain't gonna believe this. I'm still here. You know.
That's fantastic, man. That's
it was a blast, man. But it ain't Mr. America. I mean, personality has something to do with it, but it ain't a Mr. America. It's a cooking contest, okay?
Yeah.
So bring your chops when you do it, you know.
So how much did you get a say into sort of what you were cooking, or was it literally there? It is, crack on with it.
See, you would go to set early in the morning, like 6 o'clock or something in the morning. And they catered breakfast, of course. There's 200 people on set. And they catered breakfast. And they mic you up, you know, let you go to the restroom. And they walk with you everywhere. You can't just go willy-nilly around the set. They got what I call the gate watchers, you know, the corrallers, you know. I don't know what they're called, cash wranglers or something. They got official name. They just like always on your back shoulder, you know. And then you walk up there. That's why I said you didn't know what was going to happen till you got there. And you had to walk around, and the outside cooking station, you'd see 5 pits in your station. One or two weren't there when you filmed 2 days ago, or whatever it was either. So you didn't know what they were going to tell you had to use. And I don't even think in the show when I watched it that came out as much that they said, well, you have to cook on this cooker, you have to cook on this one, and then you can use whatever other, you know. But it was always, you had to cook on a certain way with what they told you. And then when they came in and said, look, this is what we're going to do, and you got 5.5 hours, 6 hours, that was real, man. That ain't no bullshit. When they say 5, that's what killed me is that, you know, the original title of the show was going to be Smoke. You know, we ain't had time to smoke nothing. I mean, not no 5, 6 hours. Well, not no 5, 6 hours. You ain't fixing a whole meal and having it smoked because I'll brine chickens and you trying to brine a chicken in 30 minutes and get it on the grill. And the flavor ain't gonna be the same, man. But it is what it is. But it was real, man. They tell you, and then you say, okay. Then you knew you didn't have to maintain this grill, or you didn't have to maintain. Just do what you had to do to get, you know, to the next step, man. It was wild, man. It was a lot of fun, though. I can't tell you how much fun. Like it was like Disney World for barbecuers, you know, because all the tools and toys that you don't have, and do-rock pork and Wagyu beef and all this fancy stuff that hell I ain't never cooked. I'm gonna tell you straight up, 75% of the stuff on that show, I ain't never cooked in my damn life. You know?
But I mean that brings us back to the point where like if you know how to cook something, I mean you can go with variations, kind of roll with it.
That's right. That's what you have to do, man. And it's fire management's important. And you know, always think about that as, you know, when people give you a recipe, take in consideration how you're going to cook it. You know, seriously, whether it's a reverse flow with a lot more smoke, or a pellet grill that doesn't have as much smoke, or a Komodo, and you can get some smoke, you know, that way, but it's going to be a charcoal or the kettle with fast, you know. And I personally, even me now, when I smoke meats, I try to go a little hot and fast more than I do low and slow. My preference. Bottom line is I want it to be, as long as it gets to where it needs to be at the end, that don't matter. You know, so that's just how I roll it, and I like to roll it that way. I mean, I get a good bark, I get good colors, I get good flavors, I get good textures, and I don't have to spend as much time because then I'd be drunk drinking beer the whole damn time. So if I can cut out 3 hours of drinking while I'm cooking it, you know, I got a little bit longer to go after the food's done to hang out, you know.
Oh, my missus is in the chat. She'll have funny ideas now. And she'll be like, why's it taking so long?
When you judge a rack of ribs by the number of beers you got, you know there's something going on, right?
Yeah, especially if it ended up like at the end of the day, like charred ribs and like fell asleep.
But you know what? If you ain't never did that, you ain't learning and cooking. Straight up, man. You know that.
That's right. And then you mentioned reverse flow a couple of times. I wanted to ask your opinion on reverse versus standard flow.
Well, I love it, and I'm gonna tell you why. In my opinion, is I like to be able to control that smoke flow. See, now I don't know. There's people have different views on this, but I know how science works because I'm at least as smart as I ever bear. That when I put a water pan in that reverse flow smoker, they say, well, you put moisture in the meat. No, I don't think so at all. Because as meat heats up, it releases the proteins. The myoglobin comes out of it. So as it's heating up, it ain't soaking in like a sponge. Shit's coming out of it. But what you do, what a pan of water does in a reverse flow, it helps to even the temperature in the grill. You can do it with a pan of sand. It wouldn't matter. You got a pan of water, it hits 325 degrees, you're cooking at 325. It's going to, because it's such a big cabinet, it's got tons of metal that you got to keep and maintain. All that has to maintain the same heat to keep the internal temperature of that grill where you want it. So if you have a big old pan of water in there and you can keep it at 325, that's going to help even the temperature. It ain't about the moisture.
Right.
I mean, and people don't understand that. I try to explain it to people, but everybody's got a point of view, and so fine. But science tells you when you heat up a piece of meat, it doesn't soak stuff in. It comes out. And
it perspires like a normal person would perspire.
Exactly.
Essentially. Right. And what you get from like a water pan or sand, you name it, is a heat sink.
That's exactly what it is. Balance the heat out.
So when you open up the grill, it'll trap that into that heat sink, and then you have less of a loss of temperature when you open up that grill. And
exactly. But then everybody thinks that you put a pan of water in there, it's going to make your pork butt moisture. It's going to make your chicken moisture. No, it ain't. I mean, if you think that's it, then see you're missing the whole point of using your heat source and what you have as part of your recipe, because that ain't going to work. I mean, spray it. You can spray if you want to spray your meat with a mister bottle, some apple juice or cider or something like that. That flavor will be on the outside of the meat, but it ain't going to go into the meat when you do that. I mean, that's
sure. And I think it like the same thing, and it like drives me crazy, is people say like beer can chicken. I get a whole bunch of moisture from the beer can chicken. You don't.
No, it slows the breast down, though. That's all it does is slow the breast down so it doesn't cook as fast as the rest.
Exactly. But the best explanation I ever heard is imagine your chicken is a big old koozie and you're trying to heat that can up. That can is going to be to like 200 degrees or something like that before it starts doing anything. And if your chicken's at that temperature, you are doomed.
Then you got some dry ass chicken. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, you're in trouble. Yeah.
But the thing is, the way chicken cooks, and I think the aspect of a beer can, like I say, but it could be anything in there. It doesn't matter. You're just slowing down you're slowing down the way the breast cooks to where maybe it can keep up with the dark meat on the outside.
Yeah,
and that's the best you're going to hope for. But flavor wise, I've never. I mean, if you put some basil leaves and stuff maybe on top of that can, and you got steam with the basil, there's some aromatics. You might get a little bit on the inside of the chicken, but it ain't going to penetrate the breast till it gets to the skin.
Right.
But you can still smell it when you take it off, and smells half of eating, right? So when you take a bite and you smell fresh oregano, basil, or thyme, then that you think you're tasting it too. That's just part of tasting food.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. And then one thing I wanted you to like point out, because people say meat is bloody, and you pointed out myoglobin, which meat is not bloody. Meat has myoglobin.
That's because dead slaughter animals don't bleed, brother. I mean, that's what people need to realize.
You got it. Yep, 100% true. So myoglobin is a mixture of proteins from meat and water.
Right, and it's flavored. I mean, it's flavored when it comes to meat, but it's not. It ain't bloody. I mean,
it is not blood.
Now, somebody take a bite of my steak and says something about, damn, that steak's bloody. You don't even want to hear me go off because you might well go eat a damn McDonald's burger or some shit. I ain't with that, But hell, ain't no way a damn cow done been slaughtered and sliced up and packaged and he's still bleeding. It can't happen, man. It's just normal, I mean, it can't happen.
Yep, you got it.
Right, so we got a question from my lab from Norway. He said, how much of the mess ups of the fire management on the show was edited for drama? Because it looked like many of the contestants really struggled. And what?
It was real. No, all that was real, man. 100%. You saw Georgia had a flame off one time we were inside because you see we have cooking inside and outside, and you saw and actually the episode I was eliminated in when Ash's fire went out on him while he was trying to cook that gator and stuff. That's really, really what happened, man. And flame ups, that's exactly what happened. There's no people. I know it's a television show, and we know that with the television show, okay, I'm gonna give you an example, is you're mic'd up from the time you get there to the time you're done. Okay, so when you go to the bathroom, you're mic'd up. Okay, so these guys in the little corner rooms, oh yeah, they listen to every damn thing going on, and they take out what they want to take. But it's also in the same token, being mic'd up, you got to realize that the host and the judges have mic ears, and the people up there saw everything going on. They saw everything that you did, heard everything you did. So when I went up there with the damn dark chocolate by mistake on my cone holders, they knew it. They knew it. So, I mean, it's not like, oh, surprise, because it's television, but they also want to be entertained. But it was so real, man. I mean, that's what people don't get. They think, well, how'd y'all do all that in one day? Y'all was wearing the same clothes and shit. It wasn't like that. They brought us new clothes every day. They dressed us. People might not realize that. They're the ones that told us what to wear. Okay. When you got there on Saturday, some little girls from wardrobe come up to your hotel room with a little buggy full of clothes and put this on, try this on. They take a picture of blah, blah, blah. They send it to the producers on the phone. And then they call back and say, that's the look we want. So that's what you're wearing. Then you got 3 or 4 sets of it. And when you come home, because it was hot, man, I'm telling you, 110 degrees heat indexed in Covington, Georgia at the time. And they ain't even being around all the damn cookers and stuff out there. It was hot. We sweated. I ain't going to lie to you. So when you get back from filming, here come wardrobe to your room. They take your old sweaty clothes, give you a new set to go tomorrow, and that's how it works. But that's why and the reason they do the same clothes is a continuity thing. It's for editing. I mean, they could ask me a question in episode 1 about something, and then you answered it, but they may have showed that in episode 2 or 3. You wouldn't know because you're dressed the damn same. But it's a consistency deal. Plus, if you have a person you're following on a show like that, they're easy to recognize if they look the same. I could have come out here right now in a purple bandana on a green shirt, and damn, that's Grubbs. That's what that's what they'd say. So because people ask me that now, I don't wear a bandana except in the summertime when I'm cooking because it's sweaty. It's hot, and I don't want no damn sweat dripping in my groceries. I mean, you sitting over there fixing food for people, and hello, beep, that'll turn them off in a heartbeat,
Yeah. Not that hungry, thanks.
yeah. But I mean, when it's 110 degrees outside, and you're standing by a damn cooker running 325 degrees, and you pulling out butts and trying to, do what you got to do, you sweating, man. That's why the do-rag comes on in the summertime,
100%. Yeah, 100% true.
Yeah. But it's real. It's 100% real. The show is more real than what people think it is. And I was there through, it's been on now, but I was there through 5 episodes. Okay. And I was there, I think, 12 days. So that's how long it took to get to that point. And you don't film every day. You got to take some time off or you'd be burnt out. Because it's all day, man. I think the day we did the picnic thing with the EMSs and the firemen stuff was probably like a 16, 18-hour filming day. So it's intense,
that long,
man.
For an episode?
Hell yeah. And the minimum was 8 to 10 hours to make one episode. Was 8 to 10 hours of filming.
Oh, sure. I mean, I was around the corner for somebody filming. I've been on movie sets and stuff, but I was around the corner from somebody filming a 30-second Ford commercial, and it took them like 3 days to film it. And it was 30 seconds.
Well, that's why I tell everybody, man. Really, if you want to do it, and I believe people, I think it's awesome they're doing it again. They're get some new people to get in the same boat we had the opportunity to be in, because the reward for being on the show, I never look, and I'm maybe because I'm too simple in my countryness, but I knew Netflix had deep pockets, especially when I saw the set and what was going on. But I never thought, I'm not a big Netflix guy to begin with going into it. I don't watch cooking shows on TV. So, but the result of it and the reach that it had was, oh my goodness, this stuff is crazy, man. It's like, wow, and here I come up in the mountains of Georgia to kind of hide and get away from people. And as you know, Netflix done found you and you're on TV, like, that ain't gonna work. Well, I had a couple of dudes from the UK. I'm gonna tell y'all, man, fans. They had my name tattooed on their damn leg.
What?
Yeah, Grubbs. And one of them got a little grill underneath it. One of them got a little sausage underneath it. That's some pretty crazy stuff.
That's
wild.
That's something. I'm not sure what. But
hey, I ain't Justin Bieber, man. I don't know what that.
we gotta find them.
You got fans though, so it's kind of weird for me, I like being up here in the hills and hiding out. Making shine and chilling out,
Mm-hmm. So while you're up there, you've been sort of making some pretty decent looking sausages and that I see coming off at the back of that. So like give us a little run through of sort of how you do your sausage, your bacon, and all your jerky and all that sort of good stuff.
Well, like if we talked before, if you want the best, you make it so. And I'll tell you how the sausage came about. I'm from Louisiana, and growing up as a kid, smoked sausage was a big part of andouille, sauce pecan, jambalaya, gumbo, etouffee. I mean, there's a flavor that was stuck in my head as a kid of how this sausage is supposed to taste. Now, when I move up to North Georgia, we ain't on the same page sausage wise. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's a little, and that's not. I'm not saying there ain't no good sausages, but it's not what I'm used to as a Louisiana kid growing up eating sausage.
True.
So that's why I started making it myself. And I'm gonna tell you, anybody who wants to make sausage, take the time to do some research. This look right here. Let me give you this little book right here. See this book right here? Sausage Making Cookbook. Killer recipes, straight up from the beginning. And here's another one. This book is a godsend for bacon making and or sausage making. Okay? The artist should choose. And if you want to do it, take the time and learn. You're gonna have to learn. It ain't because the worst you can do is do something wrong, get somebody sick or mess up. Let's sit spoil and try to serve it to somebody. So follow the damn rules, But the bottom line for me with sausage making is, I think it's like artistic. I mean, I make 20 to 25 pound batches at a time, which they're handcrafted artesian sausages, and they're gonna be. I don't care if I do one recipe this way and the same. It ain't gonna be exactly the same, but it'd be close. But to me, that's almost like the ultimate form of barbecue because you're taking a protein. You're breaking it down. You're adding flavor profile to the protein. Then you're making another meal out of it. It's not just taking a steak or a rib, and nice glaze and sauce. It's still a rib. It's still a barbecue rib. But with the sausage, it's a whole different thing. You can change the textures. You can change the flavor profile. And whether it's fresh or whether it's smoked. And I do a lot of smoked sausage. But I'm going to tell you, up here, I got to teach you people about how to eat sausages in Georgia because I don't know if I got to do a video about it or something, but I sold a guy some boudin, and he told us, I said, no, cook this off in the oven at 325 or on the grill, get the skin crisp so you can bite it, blah, blah, blah. So his wife says, well, how do I cook it? He said, well, just cook it like sausage. So she done tried to slice that up and pan fry it, and then them damn boudins everywhere. It ain't no consistency whatsoever. And the same thing when I make a sausage, like a jalapeno cheddar link sausage. That ain't a sausage you slice and make no stir fry with. If you do that, you got a nasty stir fry because the damn cheese all melted up in there and out the pan, even high temperature cheese. So when you do a link sausage with cheese, it needs to be eaten like a link sausage in a bun or on a plate and just cut, slice, and eat. Sure. Don't try to do no stir fry. Once you slice it, and that cheese hits 450, 420 degrees, whatever it is, it's going to melt. And your rice is going to be all soupy and there's certain ways to eat certain sausages. I mean, believe it or not.
I mean, you take a boudin and like you start slicing into it, it's gonna be dirty rice pretty soon.
That's exactly like almost jambalaya. Yeah, it is dirty rice, But that's what it's saying. Well, you can't do that,
Yeah, and hog casing or something.
And I make a lot of summer sausages too, though. And summer sausage, it's just slice and eat type of thing. All you need is your cracker. And, but it's a curing and smoking process, and that's what keeps them shelf stable or even in the refrigerator for a long period of time. And it has its whole different, probably you're not going to make a whole meal out of summer sausage. It's supposed to be a snack, fill-in type deal. I mean, I've seen people dress up Bloody Mary drinks and stuff with it, and that's all cool. But, with link sausage, even fresh or smoked, I mean, that's a whole, because with smoked, you're going to add number one, pink salt, whatever you want to call it, cure. Because you're going to cook it, you're going to store it and then you're going to recook it. And you want it to be as fresh as you can. So with a fresh sausage, you don't put the pink salt in it. But the same token, you're going to cook them, you know, I mean, you can vacuum seal them and store them, but they won't have the same shelf life as a smoked sausage will. Because they just don't hold up as well. But and the texture is a whole lot different on a fresh sausage than a smoked sausage. You know, and I'll tell you something. I actually tried to make a chicken sausage that tastes like jerk chicken. Okay. Now the flavor was dead on, but I got me a big problem with no chicken damn sausages. I don't know, man. To me, because I'm trying to get the fat ratio right. I've only done it, you know, a time or so, and I used the skin on the first time because I said, well, I got to have thighs and breasts. I'm mixing it up, blah, blah, blah. But when you go a link of sausage fresh and you grill it off, then you go bite it, and that piece of skin is like a piece of steamed chicken skin in the middle of that sausage. That shit ain't right, man. It ain't right at all. I don't care how you look at it. And the flavor was dead on, but that texture, like, oh no, I can't do this, man. You know what I mean? So, but I'm learning. I don't need, you know, maybe I'll use more dark meat, sans the skin, and you know, less dark to breast ratio, you know, dark to white ratio. Change it a little bit, but not use the skin to see if I can get that thing. Because I ain't gonna give up, man. That's the whole thing about sausage making. If you want it right, you ain't gonna do it right the first time every time. If you do, God bless you. You know, you did a good job, but it ain't happening. Just like I say, them chicken sausages I did that last time, and the flavor was spot on, man. Like jerk chicken. Like you took this on the thing. It's like take grilled jerk chicken, but that texture, nope, it ain't happening. So I got to try again, you know. But I took these sausages and cut them out of the skin afterwards, and then I just pan fried them and put some cilantro lime rice on the side, and then you had a meal anyway. So it wasn't like wasted. But
no, it sounds good to me.
Yeah, but sausage, that texture was. I don't even know why people eat chicken sausage, to be honest with you. But that's just my opinion, you know.
I suppose you could do the same with turkey as well. You might. Well, I suppose turkey's even leaner, isn't it? So what are you gonna do?
It's still a texture thing with the sausage. It's that mouthfeel. I mean, that can be pleasing or just, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm
gonna try to figure it out though.
I mean, you could make chicken cracklings and maybe throw those in. Hard to say. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that one. But the other question, like I had written down, was because you mentioned it before, like, and I was thinking about sausages. You ever done a fish sausage or like a seafood sausage of some sort?
The only time I've ever done it was with leftover crawfish tails and did boudin with it.
Ooh, nice.
And I didn't put any liver in it. Basically, is I took the tails with the rice and the peppers and the onions and all that, ground it all up together, pre-cooked tails with some Cajun seasoning, and then stuffed them in the sausage casing. And crawfish boudin, you know, to me, because it was all the leftovers. It was a crawfish tail. And I've done the same thing with crawfish tails. Like people eat crab cakes or whatever. I use crawfish tails, you know, because I live in North Georgia. We can't get crawfish all the time, but at least once a year, I order crawfish from Louisiana and have them shipped to my house. And I'm going to get 30 pounds. So if I ain't got nobody to share them with, so be it. We'll eat what we eat, and then I'll peel them all, and I'll have a bunch of tails. But I did that with the boudin. The same mixture of boudin minus the liver and the pork, and using crawfish tails and a Cajun seasoning with the onions, peppers, and all the aromatics and the rice, and stuff that in the casing. And it's pretty damn good.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Do you boil your crawfish when you do it, like in a big pot with all like
yeah. With a good smoked sausage, you got to have that in the crawfish boil. Onions, corn, potatoes, and sausage and crawfish. I mean, in parts of here in Georgia, they call that a low country boil over there on the coast or whatever. But I don't know what you call it. In Louisiana, it's just damn crawfish boil or a party. You know what I mean? That's basically the name for it over there. It's just a get together in Louisiana. It's, you know, no fancy name for it. But always smoked sausage, corn, cloves of garlic, potatoes, onions, and whatever seafood, shrimp, crawdads, crabs. It don't matter. Throw them in there.
Yeah, you could throw like all sorts of stuff in there. I've seen like a lot of times mushrooms and
yeah. Some people like that too.
Yeah.
I don't know if it changes the flavor so much of the boil itself, but because, you know, you're going to have that texture when you eat them, and I think it's a texture deal. Yeah, the mushrooms and all these others, because the flavor is going to be all about the same. No matter what your crawfish boil you're using flavor-wise, It's going to be through every product in that pot, but it's a texture thing, you know.
Okay.
And a good smoked sausage is what makes that what it is, because you get that hint of that smoke and all that other water and the meat. So you got to have good smoked sausage in there.
100%. And then you need throw in either some Zatarain's or Louisiana.
Tony Chachere's, Zatarain's, Old Bay. Yeah. But you know, that's what I'm saying, man. And you can take those same seasonings. I've got the recipe. I'll share with anybody if they ever hit me up how to make a sausage taste just like that. I got a recipe. You could take Tony's, Zatarain, Slap Your Mama, Louisiana Crawfish Company. It don't matter. And you can use that same seasoning. I got a recipe for 3-pound batches and make a smoked sausage taste just like that.
I tell you what, we got a rub guy in the chat at the minute. Uncle Steve, you got to talk to James here. He can make you some Uncle Steve shake sausage. Now, he's not going to want an Uncle Steve shake sausage. That's going to be amazing.
But if I had the seasoning, I'll make it, you know. But I'll share the recipe with anybody. I ain't got time to go through how many cups of this and that and the other. But if somebody hits me up after the show, whatever, I'll share the recipe with them, man. Give it a go. You know, I don't care what flavor it is.
Yeah. Well, they got. Oh, there you go. Nice. It'd be fantastic. The rubs he makes is really, really good. So, bacon making as well. You're in you popped up a charcuterie book there. I love making bacon.
I do too, man.
We've got some slightly different techniques, but I'm pretty sure between us all, we probably get a fair idea on how to make some pretty decent bacon between us. I know. What about you, Charlie? What have you you've done bacon before? I'm sure, have you?
I've done bacon. Started out with the pork belly and then cure it for about 2 weeks in the fridge, about 10 days or so. And then, and then smoke it off. You can smoke it off with you can do like maple on the bacon. You can do all sorts of different flavors, and then smoke it off with, I don't know. I like pecan. Apple's great for bacon. Cherry's really good for bacon. Hickory is really good for bacon. So bacon can take to all sorts of different woods.
Yeah, that's where part of the recipe becomes the heat source, 100% with the bacon. You know,
that is true.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and I've never.
You can make a Japanese flavored bacon, which I have done before. I think it's quite wild.
I'm thinking I got it in the back of my mind to do that, man. Honestly, because I made some banh mi sandwiches last week. Okay.
Oh yeah, I have a video on my channel me making banh mi sandwiches.
But what if you made a bacon that tastes like banh mi?
100%.
I know. But you know, you don't know if you don't try. Am I right?
I'm 100% in. That's the thing about cooking. I love experimenting, and so it's like. Yeah, everyone's like, you'll run across these people that are like, well, that's not authentic. I'm like, well, what is authentic? Like the dude who came up with the original thing.
You made it with your own damn hands. That's authentic, ain't
it? Yeah. Like either it's your mama or like a dude who came up with the original thing. They were experimenting. They were doing stuff.
Well, I'll tell you, for me, making bacon, I've made belly bacon. I made loin bacon. But lately, I've been making what we call butt board bacon, or it's out of pork butts, the shoulder, the raw pork butt.
Okay.
And so, you debone it. Hell, I can debone a pork butt in less than 2 minutes. Get that H-bone and stuff out of there. Cut it in half, almost butterflied out to where you got a nice 2.5, 3-inch piece of butt. And then cure it just like you would belly or loin, like Canadian bacon or belly. And I use a basic cure. I'd like to use, this is my basic cure. I'm going to read this off real quick for y'all. 1 3/4 cup kosher salt, a cup of sugar, and a 1/4 cup of pink salt. Put it all in, mix it up. That's the basic cure. And then you can dredge, or I use about 2 ounces per 5 pounds of meat. So either way you want to do it, that's on you. But what comes next is up to you, because you can change that flavor profile right then and there, man. And I've done it with brown sugar. I've done it with garlic. This last batch I used ground juniper berries and ground black pepper. And you're changing the flavor profile of the bacon, where I could compare this bacon to this one. This one's sweet, this one's savory and salty. Boom, and you can taste it. That's why I don't know how some of these, like the hoisin, fish sauce, mirin flavor will get into the bacon and the cure. I don't know. We're going to find out, though. And that's the only way you learn to do it, for the banh mi flavor. So you just do it. And it won't be bad. You know why? It's bacon. So it won't be bad. I mean, that's all there is to it. But by using pork belly, it's leaner than, pork butt is leaner than pork belly as far as that goes. So, I had a heart attack 3.5 years ago. I'm still maintaining my weight, trying to be healthy. If there's ever such thing as healthy bacon with flavor, it damn sure ain't turkey bacon. I can tell you that right now. But it's, so I use a pork butt so you have less fat, but it's fattier than Canadian bacon, but it's leaner than belly bacon, and you can do the same flavor profile. It doesn't matter,
Makes sense to me, and let me know how that banh mi thing turns out. And we'll share it on the channel here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try it, man.
I'm 100% down with that.
Well, we'll see. Like I said, we don't know the first time, it might not work, but second time it just might. I don't know. But I still got 10 pork butts in the freezer, so I got at least 2 or 3 to mess with before I got to cook a bunch of butts for folks. So, and I've been doing it with butts because butts right now for me are $1.58 a pound. This is what I bought these for. And I can't buy bacon for $1.58 a pound. That shit ain't happening. Okay. So, and also you got to admit, man, homemade bacon. And I don't know why I got a video, tasting my bacon at this last time I made it, and why more people don't do it. Because you don't have to hang your bacon. You can do it on a pellet grill. You can do it on a Komodo as far as smoking. You can, there's so many ways to do it, but it's so simple. But the flavor is 100% above anything you buy in the store in a damn package of sliced bacon. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
You get no shrinkage. It's so tasty. It's just a delicious.
The flavor's so much deeper than the store-bought bacon because the commercial process doesn't allow you to put that much love into the bacon. When you make it yourself, you do it,
Yeah, you get like that thing about like making stuff at home is you got like the same thing with jerky. Like it's cheaper, you can make your own flavors, and it's just better, pure and simple.
Right. And I know what I've learned too. See, I never cooked on a pellet grill till I was on that show. But I own a pellet grill now. I've had it for almost a year and a half. And I've been doing some dry brining jerky. Not wet, but just nothing but seasoning. Because we all know, you guys, salt and sugar does amazing things to meat. Salt is what gets it to open up, taking those flavors, So if you can control the salt and sugar to get the meat to do the rest, add the aromatics for your flavor to it, man, I think there's no limit to what your jerky can be done. And it doesn't have to be soaked in like Worcestershire, Dale's seasoning and all this stuff. So it's just so much sodium and salt and overwhelmingly fake beef flavor that you can make it, use a Caribbean jerk rub and all you want is enough salt to get the meat to open up and take in the rest of it. And I dehydrate. I got a commercial dehydrator, but the pellet grill, in my opinion, is one of the best jerky makers on the dam as far as grills go. Because you put it on the smoke mode on a pellet grill, it's going to run between 150 to 170 degrees with a fan blowing in it and blowing wood flavored pellets. So when I do that, I actually add a little pink salt, whatever, a quarter teaspoon per pound or whatever it is, to the jerky when I do it that way, because it's a storage issue as well. So you can vacuum seal it and put it in the cabinet in the kitchen, and you ain't got mold on it 6 months from now, because it's smoked and cured, and it freaking tastes good. But the pellet grill makes kick butt jerky, man. People, if you're making jerky, smoke it, man.
100% agree. What cut of beef do you use for your, or what cut of meat? Because you can do all sorts of different jerkies.
I know, but I try to lean. It's got to stay lean though. So
top round,
bottom round, top round, London broil. But then you get in a cost issue there. And this other stuff, when you are really bottom round or top round, other than slicing it thin and making banh mi or some kind of sandwiches like that with it, it's kind of a tough meat, but it makes kick-ass jerky. And if that's the whole thing, because the least amount of fat in jerky the longer it will stay on the shelf. Now, if you're just making jerky to go out on a hunting trip or something with your boys, and you want to make a batch, y'all going to eat it up in a day or two anyway, that shit don't matter. But if you're going to vacuum seal it and put it up on the shelf for a little while, you don't want no fat. That shit can go rancid, man. Even if it has to be cured really well before you even smoke it to not do that. So, but in London broil, it depends on what's on sale, man. For me, you know, if it's I'm thinking about $1 or $3.50 a pound or less, it's worth making jerky out of. You know,
same here.
Yeah, because I ain't fixing to pay no $8 a pound to make no damn jerky.
Well, all right. So, follow up question: What do you think about these fools making Wagyu jerky?
What a waste of money!
Really?
You know? What a waste of money! Look, Wagyu beef's got its place, man. That fat, it's a buttery, beefy goodness. I ain't gonna lie to you, but it's a waste of money with jerky. I mean, if you got a good piece of Wagyu beef, you need to get that thing seared off on a very hot grill with some flavor on it and slice it and eat it with the myoglobin running out on your damn plate. That's what you got to do with Wagyu beef, you know. I ain't talking about making no damn chili and shit with it either. I mean, let's do it. That's why you took so much care of that cow, so people will enjoy it. Well, enjoy it, you know. I mean, if you want the other, just go buy your damn choice steak somewhere and cook it off. But I love that. And the only time I've ever eaten Wagyu or that grade of beef was on the damn TV show. So, because my pockets don't run like that. You know, they ain't deep like that up here in these hills, so I don't buy that. But I know that's buttery, beefy goodness, man. I make my own tallow. So, okay, I have so much respect for beef tallow.
Yeah.
And when you have that damn Wagyu, you got built-in tallow in the damn meat, you know? So.
Yeah. I mean, you end up with so much trimmings, and you got like there you go.
Yeah,
you can make tallow. You can make some people actually make candles, which I've never made a beef candle before.
Mike, I tell you what,
that'd be a good cologne to throw on the right crowds up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm just thinking that's a barbecue. That's a barbecue Father's Day present right there, and it beef tallow candle. Boom.
But
market
the pockets ain't deep enough to take no Wagyu and do anything else with, but enjoy cooking it. You know, medium rare on a hot fire, crystallizing the outside of it, getting it crunchier on the fatty skin, and just letting it melt in your mouth. I mean, to me, that's just my opinion, because I don't spend that kind of money on damn bone beef.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. It's a trip, though, to cook it, though, man. I tell you, on that show, the beef ribs we did, I didn't have a damn clue, man. And when I probed them beef ribs, I knew 100% I probed that son of a bitch just like a damn brisket. And how it went in, I said, man, I can't believe these things are done already. But then it locked up on me as it sat, you know, wrapped, it locked up. And that was from that extra fat and all these other things from it being such a high-grade beef that I was never even used to cooking. Right. But it is what it is, you know. But I think if you got the money to do it, at least buy it and grill it and eat, you know, enjoy it that way. Don't make spaghetti out of it and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Sure, but also don't do you don't want like Wagyu burger, Wagyu hot dog. You want like a Wagyu steak and a Wagyu brisket, and you don't add like the thing about competitions, because I've had like Wagyu brisket competition stuff. It is so sweet. It is way too over sweet. Same thing as like any competition food, but everyone's using Wagyu on the comp circuits now, and so you end up with, you can eat a bite. That's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, as far as cooking goes, though, man, I'll be honest with you. See that I ain't trying to bash nobody that does professional cooking, KCBS. Y'all do what y'all do. That's your thing. But I guarantee you, man, if I'm sitting around feeding a bunch of guys like you, and we're gonna have a few beers, we're gonna barbecue. You give me a choice brisket, and I will cook that brisket as good as you cook that damn Wagyu brisket to begin with, at half the damn price. You know what? And when you're done eating it, you're still licking your damn fingers, your tongue's trying to slap you in the eyeball to get another bite. It don't matter.
Right.
You know, it don't matter. So it is what it is. I think it's a little overhyped with some of these, and everybody's doing it, like you're saying, competition. But what tells me is, do those judges really know the damn difference in the first place? I mean, the KCBS judges, unless they've done some really high-profile Memphis and Mays or World Championships or whatever, how would they just They can't distinguish that. This I don't think a human being could. You know what I mean? If it's cooked like it should be cooked, whether it's choice. I mean, I ain't talking about the old, cheap shit off, but at least the not cheapest stuff. But it don't have to be the most expensive stuff either. It don't have to be prime. It don't have to be Wagyu. I still think it can cook it and get a good, decent product that's going to please the majority of the people that are going to eat it. Yeah, that's why we do what we do. It's not like to please one person, two people. That's why I'm not a big fan of KCBS cooking. I'm just not. I took a class with a professional team and how they did this in the pans and braising this and cut the chicken skin to make it look, the thigh look like this and bite into all this and shit. I don't know anybody in the damn world to eat chicken like that. I mean, I don't. I mean.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
You're muted.
He's not. Hold on. James? Charlie?
Still here. James is muted.
Hold on. Let's get him back.
Mr. Grubbs, you are muted.
1 second. You've muted yourself, James. Come back on. There you go.
Unmute. That's me. I might have hit it accidentally in my little, wildness there.
You got too excited there.
I do.
Mid-roll as well. That was
But I get excited, man. I love what I do. You know what I'm saying? I love talking about it. I love doing what I do, man. That's why y'all have me on the damn show in the first place,
Absolutely. So, yeah, I think you're totally right. So, circling back to the original point, barbecue's a inexpensive way of feeding people. Wagyu brisket, once it's cooked to a certain point, everything's going to be done to a certain doneness. All right, you've got different grades, but equally, as you say, the average guy, he ain't going to know much difference. I've not tried a Wagyu brisket ever, but equally I know Wagyu brisket, well, Wagyu is designed to be cut, sliced thin and cooked quickly, not necessarily cooked long and low and slow because it's so rich. That's probably why you're eating your one bite competition bite, because it's such a rich tasting, unctuous sort of flavor along with all the other over the top sort of spicing and whatever rubs and all the other good stuff that comes.
People do a lot of layering, with rubs, and that, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I ain't quite to figure that out yet because, and I see people cook these things there. Well, we use this rub, this rub, this rub, and this rub, and I'm trying to figure out why. I mean, there's no way you, in my mind, that I could actually taste all four of those damn rubs you just stacked up on there. But there's somewhere in the middle, evidently, the taste comes through. But I ain't never figured that out yet. I mean, I might be one or two rubs in on top of meat. And that's tough. That's it, man. And that's only because they're 100% different than the other. Because a lot of them, they all have salt in them. They all have salt. They all have pepper. They all have garlic. So if you keep piling these on top of each other, you actually, in my opinion, you're taking away from the aromatics that are added into some of these seasonings. You're getting the salt, pepper, and the garlic. And hell, we know that works. So why not just use salt, pepper, and garlic?
And to top it off, they're doing injections and everything else. So,
I never inject and rub like that at the same time. I mean, that's just me,
It's one on top of the other.
That has a place, though. Injection has a place, and
sure.
Like when I do my birds, yeah. But I brine. I'm 100. If you got the time, you got to do the brine, brother. I mean, there's no other better way to make a better chicken or a turkey than brine it in a salt sugar mixture with garlic and some aromatics, and and then spatchcocking it for a nice even cook across there, and you get that flavor all up in there. But when you start adding this other stuff to it, injecting and all that, I don't see it working at all near as a brine would work. I think even when you inject, you're going to get veins of flavor, and because I've done it in turkeys or whatever, in chickens, and you get a vein of flavor here, a vein of flavor there. But if you truly take the time and let the salt and the sugar of the brine do what it does, 24 hours. Give yourself 24 hours. You're going to cook a chicken tomorrow, get it thawed out yesterday, spatchcock it, brine it, or turkey, and the same thing. The flavor is 100%. unbelievable. When I sell half chickens up here, when I sell whole chickens up here, they're always brined. I don't do nothing but brine. And that's why I can only sell 12 at a time, because my refrigerator in the basement only holds 12 chickens in a tub down there. And you got to keep them down there for 24 hours. I can't like brine 36 chickens. I ain't got no place to put them, you know. But the flavor, man, you cannot beat a good brine chicken. You cannot. The flavor goes to the bone, man. And that's what you need to do. I'm going to tell y'all this. My kids got a perfect 180 score on a chicken cook-off up here when I was doing the thing. And we got a recipe up here. Look it up sometime if you get a chance. It's called Cornell Chicken. Okay. This came back in the 60s, I think 64. A guy named Dr. Brown at Cornell University says, hey, he got this recipe, because that's when they came out and said a chicken for everybody in every pot. Everybody's got a chicken. So how do we cook these things? Well, they came up with Cornell Chicken. And in upstate New York and places up there, they still sell on the side of the roads these chickens that are half chickens, and they're basted with this Cornell recipe. But if you take that same recipe, multiply it 2 or 3 times, and soak your meat in it, and this will work. That's why I started using it. Rabbits, squirrels, possums, raccoons, all these things, it'll take the wildness out of that meat. It will change the color of the meat from dark or pink to white to the bone. It's a vinegar, raw egg, poultry season. That's the combination of what it is. And it's the vinegar and the salt that's opening it up to allow it to do that. But it will change the color of the meat before you cook it from top to the bone. And it takes all the wildness out of everything. So it's killer. It's a killer thing to do, especially with rabbits or possum, or if you had to do a raccoon and grill it, soak it in grandma's. We call it grandma's recipe because that's just the way that's another story. But it's Cornell Chicken is the name of the recipe. That's the official name of the recipe. And I didn't even know that till 20 years after we were calling it grandma's, because I did some research, But it's the exact same recipe. And I use a combination of white and cider vinegar as opposed to just white vinegar the recipe calls for, which has a whole other flavor profile. Yeah, but it's the bomb, man. And it's you soak some chicken, I'm telling you, if you're a fan of vinegar at all in your food, you got to look it up. Cornell, do some chicken, do some parchment. We call it grandma's, man. Hit me up. I'll show you a recipe straight up what grandma's is. And
there you go.
It's the bomb, man.
Elliot just said, what's your brine ratio? But there you go, Elliot. Just hit James up, and I'm sure he'll tell you exactly what you need to know, mate. So
I'll share, man. I believe that's how the barbecue world should be. I ain't one to I got all these secret recipes. No, bullshit. I want to share with everybody and let's have fun and all enjoy it,
Mm-hmm. There you go. Elliot, hit him up.
That's right. And I'll give you the recipe. I ain't mad at nobody, All you're trying to do is learn something new. And hell, you might have some information I can use. So who knows,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cheers, mate.
Yeah. Here's to you. I just got me a new little harpski. I love it.
Cheers, Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Or as they say in Norway, skål. If that's still around.
No, we just say frickin' cheers, man.
Yeah.
Oh, cheers, whatever, like bottoms up.
Yeah. Well, not bottoms up, 'cause I'm trying to do a show here and I don't want to have too many, but we'll hit the bottoms up afterwards. Knock it back.
Yep, been there, done that.
Mm-hmm.
So you touched on you're banging out some you're banging out, that's a very English word, just selling your chickens now and all that sort of stuff. Is that a thing? You're doing it like every day or a couple times a week?
No.
Now and again, or
well, Grubbacue. I'll run this by. It's okay. I am James Barbecue Grubbs. Grubbacue became Grubbacue up here in these northeast Georgia mountains because I started cooking ribs for the Relay for Life to raise money to fight cancer up here like 20 years ago.
Oh,
and
wow.
man, we raised a pile of money in the last 20 years. I ain't gonna lie to you. One of the best years we ever had. We had 4 teams, and we think we hit $13,000 about 3 years ago, just selling ribs, smoked ribs, and that's what it's all about. But anyway, that's how it started. And being up here in a small town, you join the volunteer fire department or you get in the community and do something like that. That's how people get to know you because it's a small town. I mean, Union County, Georgia, where I live, is 25,000 people in the whole county. So it's small town. There's nepotism. You know it. Good old boy. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And so how do you get in there? You know what? If I bring you a jug of shine and a damn smoked chicken, you're going to be my friend. And that's how it works. I mean, let's be honest, right? So I started cooking in Relay for Life, blah, blah. I won it a bunch of times up here. All you get, you get a little trophy and a pat on the back. And, about till next year when you go see these same guys and cook against them again to raise money, you got little bragging rights for a year. It ain't no, but they're not having KCBS judges. It's like the fire chief or the county commissioner or the mayor, they're the ones tasting it. So that's how it got started. But I started cooking up here, and then people would say, "Hey, Grubbs, could you cook this? Could you do that? Could you do this? Do that? Blah 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 blah." And so it just kind of progressed, and I love doing it because it allows me to make money on the side, doing what I love to do. Because I'm gonna tell y'all, man, when I go cook for somebody right now, like we just fed all the ambulance drivers I did this past Monday in Union County, because they're eat up to COVID up here, man. And the hospital they're getting all these meals brought in from all the restaurants and stuff. They're donating, but these guys in the ambulance have toting up 300-pound people and shit that are sick. They might get a leftover biscuit or a cold donut if they show up there and they got something, but they ain't getting nothing. And they're the ones that are face to face with what's going on in the community, So I live in a small community. How do you do it? You respect the community. You show your love for the community. You be part of the community. So we fed the firehouse. We fed all the ambulance drivers and stuff this past week. I teamed up with a little restaurant around the corner called Halfway Cafe up here in Blairsville. Chef Joe and Chef Danette, man, and they put their damn foot in it. I'm talking about they made side dishes that blow you away. Okay. Yeah. So, but it was awesome, man. So somebody said, well, you treat those guys like rock stars. Well, they are rock stars. They're driving the ambulance. If you fall and have a heart attack right now, they're going to come pick you up. They're going to bring you to the hospital, and they're going to stay with you and keep you alive till they got a bed in there for you to go amongst all these COVID people and whatever's going on. So why not, That's what I do. And last year was the fire department. And I try to every year we're going to work on. I got some people now that they see me doing this and they want to be a part of it. And that's fine too. Pitch in, help out, donate, whatever. Let's feed the sheriff's department, in a couple of months, whatever it is. But these people are on the front line of what's going on. It's just being part of the community. And we all know what barbecue is, man, as far as the community goes. There's no better way to meet new people, make friends, and over a plate of barbecue or cooking barbecue. You pull your grill up here, what I call the Beast, my big cabinet reverse flow smoker. And man, it's like a hormone surge for guys. People, they gather around it, they want to talk, they want to hang around it. You know what I'm saying? The smoke's rolling. It's a community deal. And there's just no better way to do it, man. And, be part of the community, share what you do. And it's also allowed me to be able to share, make sausages and, bacon. And now I sell sausage up here regularly. And say if somebody wanted a party and called me and said, hey, Grubbs, we want a few chickens, then I would try to get the chickens as cheap as I can. And I'll sell the rest of the chickens to offset the cost. And that's when their chickens are for sale. Same way with pork butts. If I'm doing pork butts, then I get a case of them. You want 4? Okay, I got 4 left to sell. I'll sell those. And it's not like I do it all the time, but that also keeps the people wanting it. You know what I'm saying? They're like, because they're asking me now, I'm getting heat up. When are you going to do some more summer sausage? We're going to, let it go 6 or 8 weeks and then do some summer sausages. And I'll do 20 to 25 pounds of summer sausage, which is about a pound a stick, and 17 to 18 pounds will be sold the day after I'm done without me even trying to sell them, $10, $12 a stick. So, you do what you do. It helps pay for your butts. I ain't making a whole lot of money. It ain't like I'm paying you paying that kind of prices for it because we live up in the hills, man. So my prices are a little for local people, man. There's pockets, their pockets ain't deep like that, But if you come up from Atlanta or you got a second house up here in the mountains and you want me to come cook, you better write the check because the reason is I know your pockets are deep and you called me because you saw me on the show. Yeah, that's $400 right there,
That's the way to do it, brother.
Yeah, that's pay the bill. That's what I'm talking about, But as far as the local folks go, man, I do what I can, man. I just want to be part of the community. They have put me. Grubbacue has become Grubbacue because being part of this community. Even though I'm from Louisiana, I started grilling in Florida. Grubbacue became Grubbacue up here in these hills. And I respect that, man. I know where I came from and what brought it on, And I like to do the local people different than the tourists. That's all,
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. You know, you don't call me and say, we saw you on the show. Will you come cook for us? Because then I said, oh, shit. Let me get out my notebook. Hell yeah.
I come and cook for you guys. Don't you worry about
it. However, if I come down, where you going to cook for me or we can cook together?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah. Man, anytime. Look, I'm always willing to share, man. And we'll have some fun. There ain't no doubt about it, you know.
What do you mean? I always have fun.
Hey, Charlie, you can strap a webcam on your chest and do a live broadcast.
I would do. I'd be like, hey, I'm here with Grubbs. You mentioned sides. Like, I love sides. Like, absolutely adore sides. And people don't focus on it much. They're like focused on the meat and everything else. What are your favorite sides to go with barbecue or you name it?
Well, if I'm cooking on the grill, straight up, it's going to be macaroni and cheese.
Yep.
It's going to be beans.
Yep.
I mean, I do this little deal. You know, they got a little basket that you buy somewhere at the barbecue supply store. It opens up like this. I think it's made for fish. You know, it's got little compartments. It's got a handle. But look, check this out. Homemade bacon on the bottom, shrimp, jalapeno peppers, and then bacon again. And then put that on the grill. Boom, boom, boom. There's your side. You know what I'm saying?
You got my attention.
twice baked potatoes on the grill is the bomb. You know, cobbler on the grill, the bomb.
Yep.
But when I'm doing it, I'm trying to, because in my house, I started, well, hell, I ain't fixing the fire by the damn oven and stuff. If I got a pellet grill and an egg going on the back porch, it's going on those. It's going. That's whatever it is. It don't matter. Corn on the cob, man. You know what? That's another thing. You got some thin sliced bacon, corn on the cob. You can take this little small rolls you get at like the Green Giant, the extra sweet little short things you get frozen of the corn on the cob. Put you a couple of jalapeno peppers sliced and basil. Wrap them in bacon, thin sliced bacon. Put them in the refrigerator the night before. Let that bacon kind of dry out and shrink around that corn. Then cook that on the damn grill. Boom! Oh, I'm telling you, it'll knock. It's the bomb, man. Yeah.
Man,
They talk about Mexican street corn. I'm talking about hillbilly spicy corn up in here, you know? I mean, bacon and jalapenos with a little basil could just set it off a little bit, you know? But you got the green underneath the bacon and the jalapeno for that bite. And thinking about jalapenos, some are hotter. You don't ever know until you bite into it how hot it's going to be. So the basil kind of evens that out a little bit, you know?
Mm-hmm. You got my attention with that one.
that's brilliant.
My mouth is watering just thinking about that.
You make your own bacon. What can you do with it, you know? And I just bought a commercial smoker, man. A slicer. I bought it from a dude up here. It was for sale, like $1,000. I ain't never had a slicer like this. It's kind of scared I'm gonna cut my damn finger off using it, but I got it for like $200 in a pack of sausage. And I had to spend $50 on a new sharpening group for it. And now I got a slicer, a 12-inch commercial restaurant slicer that I can lay the damn bacon to it, boy. I'm talking just thin enough to go on that corn, you know. Yeah, I'm jonesing to get. I'm jonesing to try it.
I just wrote that down. That is a brilliant idea. Utterly brilliant.
I'm sorry.
Well, I love doing what I do, man. I mean,
I'll be listening back. I'll be like,
I'm with you. I'm with you. I love doing what I do too. I've been cooking since I was like, I don't know, like 5 years old or something. Following my mom to the grocery store and sitting next to her all the time, getting in the handfuls of raw meat every time she did, like cook up hamburgers or hamburger steak or something.
I know. I remember Mom saying that. I don't know if you should eat that. That might give you worms or shit. Hell, that shit tastes good.
There was a little bit of salt and pepper, some onion. I was like, oh my God, so good.
And garlic. Garlic.
Yeah, liquid garlic. Man,
I love garlic, man.
So good. You can't do that nowadays. But I did it.
we were the same. I remember like my nan brought me up. We used to eat raw sausages out the fridge when I was a kid. Could you imagine your kid going to the fridge and pulling out a raw sausage and watching your child eat a raw sausage in front of you? My nan, she was like, yeah, you'll be all right.
Yeah. But if it was a smoked sausage, that's different though, because, you know, they were already up to about 150 or so and they're cured to it. It ain't going to be as bad. But if you're talking about a sausage like a hot dog, you know, sausage because then I know
like a pork sausage, like pure pork sausage. Boom.
yeah,
Like you bite into it, it'd be mushy. So we used to suck it out the skin.
a squisher, not a slicer.
All right, that's a little strange. I mean, like eating hot dogs because hot dogs are already cooked and whatever else.
Yeah.
I used to eat those as a kid. Too.
Emulsified meat.
Yeah,
we were weird kids. Don't get me wrong, but then I'm thinking back. My nan let us eat it.
But let's be honest. My whole life I've heard these stories about doing that, and not doing that, or you'll get trichinosis, or you'll get lockjaw, or some bullshit. Hell, I'm 60 years old. I ain't never met anybody in that life that did trichinosis or lockjaw from eating that shit. So, I mean, how much of it's real,
Well, I mean, the thing about trichinosis too is like pork is a lot leaner now and doesn't carry trichinosis, so people are scared of it like before it was an issue. But there are people who eat raw pork. There are restaurants that serve up raw pork, and
I don't know about raw, but a little pinkish. I ain't mad to be no medium well on a pork. Like I do pork tenderloins all the time on a pellet grill, and if you cook it too far, it ain't worth the shit. No way, it's just dried up, whatever. So you got to keep it like that pink tint to it. I mean, just enough to where it's good shit.
You can feel it. It's got to have it's got to be soft, isn't it? Before you
serve it.
If it goes too far, it's
100% true. I mean, pork is a big issue, and eggs were a big issue. I've eaten raw eggs all the time, and like even eating like I went to France, and it was what do they call it, hamburger hache, and a couple of other different things, but it was like raw hamburger meat with a raw egg cracked on top.
Sauteed, yeah. I don't know.
It was good.
I've tasted. I mean, I've always when you go to make a burger. And believe it or not, see, people kind of get their little butt hurt here, but I got a little stash of briskets I had for $2.99 a pound briskets for a couple of months, and I pulled one out and I ground it up for burger meat. I did a coarse ground for like chili, fajitas, or whatever, and then I did a double grind for burgers. But you can't buy burger meat for $2.99 a pound, and the fact that as beefy as it is, and the flavor with the damn brisket, why not? Right. I mean, I got my own grinder, so why not? But once I'm making my little stuff up, you don't know until you taste it, and it ain't gonna kill you. I mean, do what you do.
I mean, that's the thing too. I mean, meat prices are all over the map right now, but
it's crazy.
Yeah, but that's the thing about Chuck, the poor man's brisket. I can find brisket sometimes cheaper than Chuck. And so
I can't know where I live.
A poor man's brisket necessarily,
right? But I can't where I live because the rural community. I could drive an hour and a half south towards Atlanta and pick up at a Kroger or Costco or something a brisket cheaper than a Chuck. But I can't where I live. So I take into consideration. Well, is a 140-mile round trip in gas and your time and going to lunch worth that $1 a pound or whatever you're going to save, But doing a chuck, man, I'm gonna tell you, a chucky on the pellet grill, you can cook it just like a damn brisket. It don't matter. It's phenomenal. I mean, it's like amazing cut of meat, and you can do it like you can do it for stews. You can do it like chuck roast burnt ends. You can do like I've done that too.
They're good. Roast like a brisket
because it's still got that beefy flavor that the brisket has. It's
absolutely true.
Mm-hmm. It's got a nice little fat content. It's balanced out. So, in a crock pot, man, a chuck roast to me in a crock pot, we'll take some, the Greek peppercorns, put them in there, some juice in there, sprinkle a little bit of ranch dressing and shit on top of that, put it in a crock pot, then have hot sandwiches, man.
Give me pot roast.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. It's the best thing since pot roast was invented. And I love pepperoncini. Phenomenal.
I tell you, and there's another cut I really love up here, and I can get them more than people talk about. They can't get them, but like a tri-tip. Okay, a tri-tip is so super lean.
Yep.
But man, if you take that tri-tip, it's got that little fat part and it fattles off, and you cut a pocket in there, man. I stuff that bitch with blue cheese, shrimp, and jalapeno into the steak, and then grill it off because you're still gonna get medium rare on top of it. I pre-cooked the shrimp just enough to where that blue cheese starts to melt a wee bit. You don't need no chimichurri. You don't need no. You talking about slices with shrimp, blue cheese, and jalapenos in the steak. That's just a bomb. I don't care what anybody says, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's a decent recipe right there. That sounds delicious.
I love it, man.
Writing that down right now because I love tri-tips. I can get them up here all the time, and like I'll tell you, like there's two things I love with steak and cuts like that above most: mushrooms or blue cheese.
Blue cheese, you can't beat it, man. Blue cheese. Now, see, I'm not the earthy mushroom kind of guy. I mean, I'll eat them, but I don't wake up saying, you know what? Damn, I wish I had some mushroom today. That shit don't happen. But I know, and my wife said she loves that shit. So when I make stroganoff or whatever I make, you know, the mushrooms are there for her, and I'll eat them. But it's not like that's not my craze is to have that pepper, that salty pepper flavor to me. That's what I'm looking for, not that so much the earthy, you know. And the blue cheese, man,
can't beat
with
it.
a good cut of beef,
can't beat it.
No,
can't beat it. And then I'll give you a third choice, chimichurri.
I love it, man. I love it. And, you know, you make it fresh right off. You get your parsley, your whatever. How you gonna make your garlic, cilantro? Some people like a little stronger flavor, and some like them a little weak, you know. But with that, when it's fresh and it's just come out the damn blender and put it on, and you know, you can make that shit with beef tallow too instead of olive oil. And that's a whole nother flavor profile. But I'm telling you, when you spoon that over damn steak, man, oh man, that's some good stuff. Because the beef tallow don't take no degrees to get back to liquid form. Once you can leave it out room temperature for a little while. It'll get back to liquid form, and you could use that and replace. Now, olive oil is good for you; it's healthy, and I'm trying to stay healthy. But also know that the fat from beef is better for me than vegetable oil, canola oil, or these others. Okay, because it's a true natural fat. There's nothing, you know, in all in moderation, but nothing added to it. It's a true, and the flavor that comes from tallow. Man, I don't know. You just can't beat that shit, you know.
Wrote that one down too.
I'm just an old country boy cooking up groceries up in the hills, man. You know.
Man, I don't know. Like I may have recipes you might like. Who knows? One never knows.
I tell you what, them last 10 minutes, you've just got like 3 banging recipes out of like, boom, there you go.
And never even thought about it.
No, exactly right. You know, fantastic.
Well, I got 4. I don't know what about your 3, but I got 4. But he's certainly pumping them out here.
Well, I'm a friendly guy, look, man. And when it comes down to it, the whole social media thing is kind of a little bit overwhelming for me sometimes. I live where I live because I like the anonymity of being like in a small town and doing what I do. But I also love sharing the passion for cooking good food and barbecue. I love it. Yeah. I'll share with anybody. I wish I could teach more kids to do this. I tell you what, Melissa Cookson, you know, the judge on the show, she just started the Junior League of Barbecue in the United States. Did you know the state of Texas, the high schools have barbecue competition teams?
We do.
And that is badass. I don't care what you say. You get these people 17, 18 years old to start getting a passion for doing this, man, who knows what's going to happen in the world? You know, it's a good thing.
Well, that's the Kids Queue thing. It's a big thing in Australia, and it's also a big thing in the UK, or it's getting to be a big thing in the UK. So I'm surprised it hasn't sort of come. I actually thought it would have come from America, but obviously it was more of an Australian thing. But Kids Queue in Australia is a big thing. A lot of children over there are cooking barbecue at the minute, or being taught to cook barbecue to a competition standard. And also as well, as for children being taught how to cook barbecue in schools, I know Chef Johnny's been doing that. I don't know if that's more of an exception than the norm, but I've definitely spoken to him about that on many occasions where he's been doing that. I don't know if it's a summer school thing or an actual because he's a culinary college sort of dude, isn't he? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's
I would love to see this going, man. I got a notebook probably about that thick that I've built over like 30 or 40 years of recipes. I got 3 kids from 38 to 22 years old, and none of them could seem to care. They got their own thing. They ain't even studying all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But that notebook, one day it's going to be worth something to somebody. And maybe after I'm dead, maybe they'll publish it and share it with all the kids. So I don't know. But there's a lot of information, because you don't just do what you do and be good at it in a week or two. I mean, like I said, I'm 45 years into doing what I'm doing, and I still ain't learned the best way to do anything. I said the other day, the Grubbs, what's the best way to cook this? I can't tell you that. I don't know the best way to do anything, but I know this is what I would do and what I have learned to this point. But there may be a better way to do it until we find out. I don't know. You know, I'm always open for suggestion. That's why I'm always trying to share it. And some of it ain't good. Anybody that's going to start out barbecuing, sausage making, whatever, you're going to screw up. Okay, it's going to get fucked up a time or two. Let's be straight up. But the more you do it, the better you will get. And that's what you got to do, man.
Yeah,
put the fire to it. Do what you do, man. You know. So some of these Facebook pages and social media pages, and when these guys come on, they ask questions about how to do this and do that. Well, you're getting so many opinions of different ways to do things. Just take your time, put it together. We were all born to free will, so let's think and say, hey, let me try this. And it might work, it might not. But you know what? By the second or third time you do it, it'll be better. I guarantee it. And it may be off the damn chain by the third time you do it. You don't know. But, you know, there's just so many opinions out there when it comes to barbecue and grilling meats, and what do you use, salt, pepper, garlic, or 4 layers of different seasonings. There's all these, you know, it's opinions. It's 100% opinions. So, yeah, do what you do, man, and whatever flavor, and do what you do for you. So when you get that flavor profile and you taste that, I like it. Well, hopefully when you serve that to 20 or 30 or 40 people, 75% of them will like it, because 100% ain't never going to like everything you do anyway. Bottom line, it don't matter. So please the majority, see them with a smile on their face, boom, move on, you know, because there's going to be, especially if you're serving free food, they come whatever eat, and it's free. So these people come up, they eat more or they take more they can eat. They throw half of it away, but they're the first one to complain about, well, this shit don't take blah blah blah. Hey, it's fucking free. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me.
You get like, hey, it's free.
Yeah.
Like beggars can't be.
Yeah, you really don't have a place to complain right now. Just take it home, feed your kids, be happy, whatever. But you'll never please everybody. I've been doing this for long enough, man, to know if I feed 100 people today, whatever it is, 10 or 12 people are going to have something not positive to say about it. Right. And you accept it, but don't let it stop you from doing what you're doing, because you're always going to get better. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. Mm-hmm. You know,
I mean, it's the old saying, like, practice makes better. Practice does not make perfect, because there's no such
thing. There's never perfect, you know.
And then it's a good point in like taking notes and trying to figure out, like, all right, I did this time.
That's what I'm saying. People don't realize, but if you got the time, man, these journals, take a note, get yourself a notebook, and when you do it every time, write down what you did. It don't take. I mean, it's going to take you 2 or 3 extra minutes, and that you can do that while the charcoal's heating up. You know, so you can do what your flavor profile is, but between turning the meat or checking on it again. You can write little notes. I ain't talking about writing an essay or not. You ain't giving this to the damn University of Congress and shit. Just make notes for yourself so you can fall back on and reflect. Like, well, it didn't come out exactly what I wanted, but what did I do? Then you go to see, and then you make the changes. Yeah, and it's all about self-embodiment on that part, because if you're really trying to be the best at what you do, and I think every person should in the world, man. As a human being, I don't care if you're changing a flat tire, you're fixing a toilet, or you're cooking a brisket. You should be able to sign your name to it when you're done. Period. That's just, I'm old school that way.
True.
Look, always give 100% and do the best you can do. And if it ain't right, guess what? Next time it will be. So, accept it for what it is, but don't let failure put you down either, Keep on trying, especially if you love what you're doing.
That's a fair comment, You can't argue on it. It's a good way of looking at things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll drink to that because I've just poured myself a fresh one. So cheers, guys.
Yeah, I got me a little Hartsky too. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna dip into the local. This is great, by the way. It don't even look great, does it?
Get the moonshine.
Look like water in a damn jug, but it ain't. It's about 100 proof water.
Very nice.
Elderberry Moonshine is actually really good.
I've never done elderberry before, but we can get them up here.
Yeah,
I've never tried it.
Pretty common, pretty common around there.
Well, elderberries are good for you, so think about it. So,
sure.
But I'm gonna tell you another thing. When it's 100 proof, it'll keep the Rona. It'll keep the Rona and the COVID away too, because it's an antiseptic, man. Just think if you got a little COVID virus right here, and you took this little 100% and said,
"Oh yeah,
I'm gonna kill that bitch." Yeah, I ain't antiseptic that.
You may not wake up until later the next day, but you'll be healthy.
Yeah, but you won't have the vid. You'll be happy.
And you're like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Eventually, after drinking a whole ton of water.
Yeah. Man, I appreciate you guys having on. I know y'all got a couple more questions. What you gonna be?
Right. Go on. So I was going to say, what's your mostly sort of meat or food you've eaten? This is sort of like just rounding it off now.
I know, and I know y'all saw the show though, right?
Mm.
So that last episode with the bison and the possum and the raccoon and the iguana and the alligator, that's all part of it, 100%. I mean, I've cooked a lot of deer up here and squirrel in the mountains, but I'll tell you, the one thing I've eaten that wasn't on that show, because I grew up in Louisiana, that I thought is probably one of the best wild meats you could ever get out the damn earth. Turtle. And thing about a turtle, you get a big old box turtle there's like 5 or 6 different kinds of meat in a turtle. I mean, there's meat that's like a chicken. There's meat that's like beef. There's meat that's like pork. There's meat that's like fish. There's reptilian type of meat in it, all in the same turtle. But you brown that over some onions and a long tomato gravy and some garlic and stuff, spoon it over some rice. Man, it's a damn bomb. But that's probably, other than possum, raccoon, iguana, alligator, but turtle. And I think turtle is probably one of the most universal meats you can actually harvest legally and consume that's got more flavor than any other single animal by itself is a turtle.
Yeah. I mean, turtle soup used to actually be pretty fancy. And I've had like turtle soup served with like sherry and like a creamy turtle soup.
Right. So it's a little thick.
Yeah. It's super good. Turtle.
Yeah. Awesome. But it's the different cuts of meats of the turtle that can have different flavors and textures from the legs and the chest meat or whatever. And more so than any other animal I know where there's that much difference in all the different cuts, but it's really, really good.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, turtle meat. I've never tried it, but turtle soup rings a bell. Wow, that's pretty cool. So what would your top 3 favorite sort of musical albums be then, James?
Okay, I'll be straight up with you, man. I'm a Kinks fan from way back in the day. Okay, so Muswell Hillbillies from the Kinks, any of their concept albums from soap opera to Village Green Preservation Society to Schoolboys in Disgrace, but the Kinks, Muswell Hillbillies, got to be there. XTC's English Settlement, got to be there. And I'll tell you, Elvis Costello, man. I've always been an Elvis Costello fan. Yep. And, I go back to Armed Forces. I think it was his 3rd album, which was one of the copies I got that was actually released in England and came over here, had a 45 in it and had a couple of different songs on it. But Armed Forces from Elvis Costello, the Kinks, Muswell Hillbillies, and XTC's English Settlement. Man, gotta love them, man. I love it. I love the Who, man. I love the Stones. I love old rock and roll. I listen to shit from day one to day two. From when disco, I was single and throwing down on the dance floor when Boy George was doing. But still, that don't make it my favorite damn music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I love the Kinks, man. I love what Dave and Ray Davies have been doing their whole life. Always been more so than the Beatles. I've been more of a Kinks fan than the Beatles, and I love their concept albums, man. I love Village Green Preservation Society. I love them all. Soap opera, Schoolboys in Disgrace. You know, We Are. Yeah, I love it, man. And I don't know, but I'm 60 years old, so my taste is gonna be a little different than some other people. You know, well, I mean, and XTC, man, XTC was rocking in my damn day back in the day.
I'll tell you, like, that's pretty interesting. You mentioned XTC because I was big into them too, and like, actually, you went to an autograph signing at
with Andrew Partridge in that
Tower Records, and like ended up like getting autographs from all the guys and stuff, and then Elvis Costello I've seen in concert a couple of times, so
yeah,
not a bad choice. XTC is an interesting one.
Yeah, that's me, man. When my happy place, firing up the grill, cranking up the rock and roll, having a cold one, and let's do it, man. That's my happy place. You know, rock and roll, smoke, meat, liquor. Let's freaking love life, man. I love it. Yeah, cheers to you, buddy.
Drink to that. Cheers. Perfect. Right, so fantastic choice of music. What we're going to do now is going to skip into the hot fire round. You haven't seen these questions, but basically the premise is every guest we've had has asked a question and it's been added. So sort of like we rattle through these. It won't take that long. You ready? Did you get the list I sent you, Charlie? Have you got it? Do you want to flip flop or should I just rip through on my own?
Just read it. I didn't get any list.
I
have no idea.
Long as they ask me what color my damn drawers are, I'm down with it. You know what I'm
saying? Okay, yeah. But when we get to the end, I'll be asking you to add a question into it. So have a think along while we're doing it. So you'll get the sort of general trend as we go along. Barbecue related. So first question for the hot fire round is hot and fast or low and slow?
Hot and fast.
Day or night?
Daytime.
I was going to say beer or spirits.
Let's do a 50-50 on that one.
I was going to say you're doing a pretty good job on both at the minute, mate.
Yeah, let's do a 50-50 on that one. I used to make a lot of my own beer, but I still make a lot of my own spirits. But I still like indulging in both.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Lump or briquette?
Lump, 100%.
Pork or beef?
Pork.
Ribs, wet or dry?
Dry. Hashtag no sauce, baby. If you cook it right and it's right, you don't need no damn sauce. You know, that's like putting ketchup on a damn steak, if you ask me. But I ain't gonna try to hurt nobody's feelings. You know.
Okay. Shrimp or meat?
Do what?
Shrimp or meat?
Meat.
Would you wrap it or let it ride?
I'll let it ride, man. Flavor's deep that way.
Burgers or hot dog?
Burgers.
So, horse, yay or nay?
No, I ain't with all that.
Brisket or short ribs?
Brisket.
Favorite non-meat thing to grill?
My favorite, gotta be macaroni and cheese.
Yeah. Smoked or grilled?
Smoked.
Fat up or fat down?
I say that's subjective because it depends on where you're sitting in my cooker. Because if you down the hot end of it, I got to put the fat down so it don't stick. But if you on the other end of my smoker, I got to have the fat up so it drip. It don't matter to me. I don't think it's going to cook any different. To me, it's a matter of it sticking on the grill when you pull it off and it's falling apart. So if you giving me a choice and I only had like 4 briskets I was cooking, and I could adjust, I would put them fat up and I wouldn't put them near the hottest part of the grill. So I would go fat up, and I would avoid. But if I have to fill it up, the ones that are hotter, they go on fat down because I don't want that shit sticking to the grill. You know, I don't think it makes a difference in cooking. Personally, I don't.
No, I don't either, to be honest. Just to protect wherever your heat source is coming from, generally. Mm-hmm. So wood or charcoal?
Wood.
Okay. Best way to light a stick burner?
Well, I use a chimney starter and charcoal to light my stick burner.
Perfect.
I mean, I fill it. Well, not fill it up because I only need a little bit to get it started. But a half full chimney starter. No lighter fluid ever goes in any of my cookers ever. Mm-hmm. So that's the bottom line. No lighter fluid, nothing. Green egg, it don't matter. No lighter fluid.
Okay.
You know, chimney starter.
Okay. Sweet or savory?
Ooh, savory.
X or G rated?
Do what?
X or G rated? It was a question from last week's show.
R rated. I'm in the middle there. I'm closer to X, but not. You know.
PG-13 with parental gag.
Yeah. Put it this way: if you're talking to me live, you might not want your kids to hear how I talk, but that's that's your business. You know, I'm just being me. So.
So we got foil or butcher paper.
Pink butcher paper. If I'm wrapping, yeah.
Okay. This is a bit of a fancy competition question. So, scrape or Jacquard chicken skin?
Do what?
Scrape. So, would you scrape your chicken?
I ain't scraping shit. No, that too much damn work for skin wide. Look, you can't. If you cook it right, you cooking chicken. You don't want no rubbery skin. Kick the damn temperature up to 325 or 350, and you ain't got to scrape shit. The skin's crunchy. And I'm going to eat the skin straight off anyway, so it don't matter if it's, you know, I'm going to pull that skin off, and then I'm going to eat it, and then we're going to go from there. No, but I ain't scraping no skin. No.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Biscuits and gravy or shrimp and grits?
Oh, I live in the South, man. Biscuits and gravy straight up, baby. You know.
Really? You're not going shrimp and grits?
Well, I would, but I don't get biscuits and gravy that much when I'm grilling. So when I got biscuits and gravy, I got to get the biscuits and gravy. You know, that shit will fill you up and get you through half a day with just a simple plate, you know.
True.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the end of the quick fire round. Would you like to add a question for next week's contestant?
Well, see. You asked because you told me that ahead of time, and I'm trying to think about it real quick. Yeah, I'd say brine or no brine.
Good one. Brine or no brine. That'd be in next week's show, and that'd be us for next week.
I don't even know who the hell you're talking to next week, but hopefully they do some chickens or some turkeys or something, because I ain't brining no ribs, and I guess you could.
People do brine ribs.
I know, and you know that I told you before about Grandma's recipe, that Cornell chicken thing. Try it on some country style ribs sometime. I mean, that's a whole nother level, but we didn't get into that. But the same recipe with the vinegar and the egg and all that, it'll change. It does the same thing to pork. It'll change the color of the meat to the bone. It will soak and it will give that flavor to it. So, yeah. It works on pork too, but it's mostly been used with chicken and wild animals, you know, in my life. But I've done it with country style ribs where you just take a butt and you slice it, you know, into the country style ribs.
Which is
but it's good shit though. I mean, Cornell chicken, man.
Don't fool yourself.
So could you swap out like you know, like you get your pickle juice? Could you swap that out for vinegar and things? Because that's already got all the spices in it, isn't it?
Do what? One more time.
You know, you said about the Cornell
chicken.
Chicken, yeah. Could you swap out the vinegar and just use the, you know, like you get leftover pickle juice from when you have the pickles? Could you bung that in there and use that instead?
I've never tried it, but you know what? When you think about it, you're 100% right, because the basic is the vinegar is what's breaking down the meat. And I've done chicken wings in pickle juice. I've done cooked a pork butt in a pot in pickle juice. And you know, the guy from that beef restaurant, whatever it's called, Ted, they had a deal. I can't remember the name, but they did all their beef roast in pickle juice when they cooked them. So pickle juice, but it's just a different flavor profile. Is all it is, you know, because you got that deal and that shit in there. So, but the vinegar is what does it. So I think you could, man.
In pickle juice, you got like salt, vinegar, and then depending, you've got like peppercorns, garlic, like little piece of garlic, and another bunch of, you know, whatever you want to add to it, like maybe hot peppers or like ground chili flakes or.
But it will take it, because the vinegar will open that meat up, and it will take those pepper flakes. It will take all that flavor, because the vinegar is magic, man. That's the whole thing people need to understand is the basics of these cures with salt, sugar, and vinegar and what they do to meat. If you get the concept on that together, you can use it on anything. I mean, I do in the crock pot where we do a chuck roast in there with some pepper, pickle juice and stuff in the crock pot, and then add your stuff into it, because it's amazing how it breaks down the meat. And it's the vinegar.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll tell you, like, one thing you need to be careful on is if you do like a citrus based, or like say a pineapple or something like that.
It can get mushy if it goes too long.
Enzymes, the enzymes in pineapple, or a pineapple will attack the enzymes in a meat, and so you do not want to leave that for really long.
I know, it'll make it mushy, and it'll be. That's why, like al pastor, if you're doing an al pastor taco, I mean, for pork or chicken, you got to be careful how long you marinate it, because pineapple juice, the highly acidic pineapple juice, the flavor is the bomb, but it'll turn that meat to mush if you go too long with it. You know, that's just, vinegar's a little bit more forgiving though.
True.
To where it can the texture won't change as long. I think you could do vinegar based for like probably up to 24 hours, but a pineapple based spring, I wouldn't do more than 12 hours. You know, in my opinion, especially with pork or chicken. You know.
Yeah, especially depending, like, if you're doing like if you're doing like a pork chop or something like that, you want to have like
especially depends on the size of the pork chop and if it got fat in it and all that shit. But keep it down, man, because
keep it in.
Pineapple will eat it up, man. Pineapple's like Pac-Man. Pineapple's like Pac-Man on the meat. It really is. I mean, that shit will. It will. Pineapple, but the flavor's a bomb. I mean, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Y'all might know. Pineapple makes kick-ass liquor, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, you have to tend to it. You have to tend to it because of the solids and the sugars, and it'll blow up in the fermenting bin. I know, but I can make liquor look like this from pineapple, and the flavor's a bomb. But it's a whole different creature, man. You know, but it's a killer marinade for pork. But keep it down to under 12 hours. I would, in my opinion. But if you try to do 24 hours with pineapple, you're gonna get mushy shit. You know, I mean,
it'll break stuff down in like a heartbeat.
Yeah. You
gotta be real careful of that.
And the mouthfeel goes away once it gets to that point, you know, and that's half of eating, you know, is how it feels when you eat, you know.
I've done a whole pork shoulder, injected with pineapple and chili. That was good. Sure. And just that was
sure. It can make for great like injections and some great marinade. You just got to be careful. And then I've used pineapple soda in making up sauces and glazes for ham and all that stuff. Works great with ham.
Yeah,
but
if you soak a meat into it,
be careful.
Those proteins that open up and spread with the salt and all that, they soak that shit in there, and it ain't.
It was fall apart. Be like you'll have like if you have a baby, it's probably good. because you can feed them like I don't know, raw mush.
Right. Okay. What we're going to do now, James? If we're going to wrap the interview up, but we run a thing called a pub club. If you want to stick around and have a beer and a chat, let's carry on as we are. But we can invite people in if there's anyone about who wants to come in and have a talk to you. If you could give us a rundown on your social medias and all that sort of good stuff, and where people can find you online and check you out, that'd be fantastic.
All right. Hey, James BBQ Grubbs, man. It's at James BBQ Grubbs on Instagram, Facebook. I don't do much on Twitter, but I try to post what I do, and I got Grubacue on Facebook, and y'all see the spelling, GRUB-BAQUA. It's a Louisiana thing. It's me doing me, and if you're local and you're trying to get some Grubacue, you're going to have to follow, because that's the only place it comes up for sale, and you know what's going on. And if you're not, look, y'all need recipes, I'm willing to share, man. I'll share every information I got just to try to make this barbecue world a better place. So if you're watching the show and you want to reach out, send me a message, man. Send me a message on Instagram, on Facebook, whatever. Follow, and I'll do the best I can to answer. And I ain't going to bullshit you. I'm going to be straight up. I want to share what I know. And if it helps you become a better cook, then let's do it, man. That's all that matters. Bring a smile to your neighbor's face. That's what we're here for. That's why we do what we do. And we love it. And I'm 100% thrilled to be in a part of this podcast. I think these guys are great. I'm honored to be on. I'm kind of humbled a little bit about it, because I'm just do me in the hills. And but I'm always willing to share, enjoy, and reach out. That's all I can say. If you want some information, reach out. And I got some Grubbacue. You might want a Grubbacue t-shirt. I don't know what shipping is across the pond, but up here we can do it pretty reasonably. So reach out and let me know, man. But I love what I do, and I'll share every minute of it. I'm not above or beyond that whatsoever. And also, if you have any hankering at all to be like, get on a TV show and cook and think, you can do and hang with these people and do this, follow me, because I get these casting calls all the time from Food TV. I just filled out a whole application deal with the whole Guy Fieri. He's got his own casting deal beside Food TV, believe it or not. And to try to be a part of it, and so you don't know. But fill it out, do what you do. If you're comfortable in doing that and you think you can do it, do it. And the worst thing is that somebody say no, but hell, we all know if you're my age, it ain't the first time somebody said no. So do what you do, man, and take a passion in what you do, live what you do, and just do it, man. And you'll burn up a few steaks before you get the perfect one. You'll fucking fry a few briskets before you get the perfect one. But it's okay, because that's how we get better. So, and I'll always share. I don't know the best way to do anything, but I still know a better way to do it than some other people, or some other ways that you don't know about. And maybe it works and maybe it don't. But I'm willing to share. I'm not that way to where I'm all up in myself. So if y'all want any information and you reach out and you want a recipe or you want any input, I'm there, man. I'll give it to you. Whether you use it or not, that's on you, man. I don't care. I just want to share my love for barbecue and for what I do. And I'm willing to do it with anybody, And I really appreciate being a part of this show. I appreciate you guys, man. I like you guys. I think it's going to be great, man. Y'all, this has been more about barbecue to me than it has in the show, which to me is kind of cool, because the show is the show. We get the same questions all the time. But barbecue is barbecue, man. And that's what got me on the damn show in the first place. Was barbecue. So
yeah.
I love sharing it, man. And I just, if we get a whole new generation moving in the same direction we are with this barbecue, who knows the world,
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I will say, I've got like 4 things written down at the very least. So it's been educational, and I always love taking recipes and giving recipes, and then it's just a matter of sharing as part of the community.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all about, man. Sharing the love. Hey, look, look, when you go and make a good plate of barbecue and you share it with a stranger and they come back to you, that smile on their face and that enjoyment, that's where the pleasure comes from, man.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, man. You know?
Yeah,
I drink to that. Totally. Cheers, guys.
Hey, cheers to you guys too, man. It's been a blast.
It's been awesome. Thank you. So, Charlie, can you give us a rundown on your social medias? I'm going to record yours tomorrow. I've got a little read through I'm going to send to you tomorrow morning or tonight when you can.
Sure. My social barbecues. My social media is Pickles Barbecue. You can reach me at picklecooking@gmail.com. YouTube. I'm Pickles Barbecue on YouTube. Instagram, I am Pickles Cooking, or Pickle Cooking, rather, because they stole Pickles Barbecue, but suck it up, buttercups. Here's a sticker if you want a sticker, and hit me up. You can find me at all those places, and actually do have a TikTok account, and do have an Instagram account, or I think I mentioned the Instagram. I have a TikTok account, post videos, and bail out of there. It is Pickles Barbecue, I think. Hard to say. I think I have like 6 videos. I go in, I post a video, and then drop out. Anyways, you can catch me here every week on the BBQ Talks Show.
Yeah. International correspondent, the international correspondent of the BBQ Talk Show to boot.
BBQ Talk Show fucking rocks. Okay.
It's been fantastic having you on.
Over the world.
Whenever you want to come back on, you're more than welcome, and hopefully you will, because you've been an absolute blast of. It's been fascinating listening to you and having a chat and a conversation. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to put a link in the chat. If anyone's still watching or wants to jump in and have a chat,